of the hour. All right, it's the top of the hour. We're going to get started. My name is Kai Williamson. I'm the Vice President of Administration, which means that I put these lovely different seminars that you guys see 2 or 3 days a week since January. I put these events together for you guys so paralegals can get their MCLE. Because I'm the MCLE police. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but Sherry actually is no stranger to the Orange County Paralegal Association. She actually did a seminar with us in February, actually February 12th to be February 18th, 12th. It was one of those dates back in February to be exact. And she's back for, I would say, part two to give us more in-depth look into what's going on in the profession at even higher level. So, Sherry, again, she's no stranger, and I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself. But everyone, let's give Sherry a warm virtual welcome. Woohoo!
Thank you. Well, it's nice to be back. I feel like it's old home week here, and I get to know a lot of you, and a lot of you I've known for a long time. A little bit about me because we're talking about climbing an invisible career ladder, and so I'll give you the 411 in 90 seconds or less by Sherry Bunny Estrin. I started out as a litigation paralegal in Seattle, and I didn't know anything. I was in the theater, I was on the road. I decided to get off the road. I didn't know anything about being a paralegal. I opened up the paper, and there was a job for a paralegal, and I thought, yeah, I could do that. And I walked into the law firm, and the administrator just happened to have seen one of my shows. So he hired me, and that's how I became a paralegal. But it was never good enough for me just to stay in that one position. I'm ambitious, competitive, entrepreneurial. So I started to climb the ladder, and I moved down back to home to Los Angeles and put together a paralegal program. I became a paralegal administrator. And then I went to an AmLaw 10 firm and put together their paralegal program. And at that point, I wanted to go back out on my own. So I opened up my own staffing agency, ran it, sold it to a $5 billion company, and ran their staffing division where I had like hundreds of people rolling up to me. I was a senior vice president. And I hated it. I hated it, hated it, hated it. I was making big bucks. I had a house in Pacific Palisades, which unfortunately burned down, a Mercedes in the garage, and a credit card to Neiman Marcus, which was my proudest possession. But I hated that, and I wanted to go back to being an entrepreneur. So I opened up my agency again. I had a few things in between. And one of the ways that I climbed the ladder was I've written 11 books on legal careers. So I got my name out. Okay. I have an award-winning blog. So I got my name out. And I've been on CBS News, Wall Street Journal, Fortune Magazine, Forbes, Law 360, a lot of different things that a girl from the Valley normally wouldn't do. So the paralegal career has been extremely good to me. And so for any of you looking to climb the ladder, there are all different ways of doing it. You don't have to take the career path that I did. I just happened to be very independent and very bossy. So I don't know who would hire me at this particular point. But I found doing what I like to do, and that's what I want to bring home to you today, is to do what it is that you like to do. So let's start with a couple of estronisms, and you'll hear me say this all the time. A job is not a marriage. At some point, you move on. Okay. In particular, paralegals are extremely loyal, and sometimes paralegals don't realize it's time to move on or it's time to move up. Moving up is your responsibility. The firm is not likely to automatically promote you. They don't think that way, particularly for paralegals. In a lot of firms, a paralegal is a paralegal is a paralegal, and there's no upward climb. This one I love. You have to get up in the morning and love it and love it. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And for those of you who are just starting out, I have some news for you, and you're not going to make partner. So, what do you do with that? Well, you have to have some kind of job satisfaction and upward movement. Now, here's what you need to know. I covered a little bit about this in February, but I want to go over it again just for a couple of minutes because you need to know what the market is for paralegals, even if you're not contemplating a move. Okay. You always have to know what the market is like. So it used to be years ago that they touted the paralegal field was growing by 18% and et cetera, but it slowed down to a projected growth of 1% from 2025 to 2033. So what does that mean? That means if you want to be good in the field that you're in, you're going to have an upward climb. Okay. And despite that, there are 37,300 openings for paralegals and legal assistants for each year over the decade. That's a lot of openings, right? Most of these openings are expected to replace the need of the workers who are going to different occupations. Baby boomers are retiring, and people just move on. Just so you know, because I have a lot of you calling me and saying, "Oh, Sherry, I only want 100% remote." Gone. Okay, the 100% remote position, it's not to say you can't get it. I have a few firms that still do it, but for the most part, the positions are hybrid. So if you have your heart set on finding a remote position, you may have a hard time. It's not COVID anymore. And while I would say 95% of the firms that I work with are hybrid, very few also bring their paralegals or their legal professionals in on site 100%. The ACC, the Association of Corporate Counsel, says that 63% of legal professionals currently work hybrid. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind if you're thinking of leaving for 100% remote. Now, I won't go through every one of these, but these are the jobs that are in demand in 2025 to 2026. And it's all kinds of things in the legal field. So just in case you're don't know which direction to go, right? You don't know where to aim, or you feel like maybe an alternative career. These are the jobs that are in demand, including paralegal manager. And for those of you who are managing paralegals, I strongly suggest that you join the IPMA, which is the International Practice Management Association. I'm a co-founding member of it. And it's really for paralegal managers and practice management. Great group. I suggest that you join. Senior litigation assistant. We're seeing a lot of executive assistants come into the legal field. That's unusual. Director of paralegal services. I just placed a paralegal manager, great guy, just a great guy. And he moved up, okay, from paralegal manager to director of paralegals at an am law firm. I got him $265,000 plus moving expenses plus a sign-on bonus. So this is a person that really worked his way up from litigation paralegal all the way up, and he's now in the C-suite of that particular firm. So if you're aiming that way, it's a great way to go. It's not, I think there are only maybe 4 directors of paralegals at that level in the country. But what does that say? It says that that position is opening up, okay, which is important for you to know. There are all kinds of in-house positions. I'll tell you this. I've never ever had a paralegal who went to an in-house position call me up and say, Sherry, put me back in the law firm. Okay, it's just never happened. Is it easier? Yeah, it's in a whole, not that the work is easier, and not that it's not demanding, but it's just a different pace, just a very different pace. Pricing manager, this is a new field. It's very lucrative. It's very definitely something that a paralegal can move into. I have pricing managers in New York at am law firms making upwards of $300,000 a year. So this is a brand new field. Paralegals are really, really good for it. And of course, AI specialist, we're going to talk about that in a minute. If you're not on the bandwagon, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. Other areas, cybersecurity, climate change, and right now what's really, 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 am I clear on this, hot is employment law. Very, very hot. So here's what's hot in 2025 to 2026. Maybe your firm handles some of this. Maybe this is an area that you want to move towards. Maybe you need to tackle a second specialty. Climate change, constitutional law, LGBTQ and rights. There's going to be shifts in bankruptcy law, mergers, litigation. Cannabis is it's not as hot as we thought it was going to be, but it wasn't here 10 years ago. Okay. Workplace reforms, the hybrid work, AI practices, workplace legal reforms. In-house labor and employment is leading right now, litigation, mergers and acquisition, class actions. And then where are firms and in-house legal departments spending money? High tech, financial services, pharma, food, agriculture, healthcare, and consumer products. So if you're looking for other specialties to move into, and maybe your firm does it, okay, these are hot areas that you might want to look into if you're thinking about adding to your repertoire. Legal operations. Kai and I were just having a conversation. This is so hot right now. And Kai is the best model for legal operations position. This is very, very hot right now and a great position for a paralegal. The legal operations function is they take care of, gosh, RFPs, the departments, the vendors, just a whole host of things in legal operations. It used to be that this position was only in in-house legal departments. It's now gone into the law firm. It could be a very lucrative career, very lucrative, very hot. Social recruiting is now becoming the norm. People, only maybe 10% of people really get their job from a job board. Okay, and this is not a how to find a job webinar, but it's not the be all end all is what I'm trying to say. New demands for in-house counsel, which means there are new demands for paralegals. There's a stronger emphasis on compliance and risk management. Hyperlinked files and e-discovery, new, 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 new. Okay, you want to get on that. And of course, AI, or as one politician said, A1. I say, I don't know. Okay, what hasn't increased, all right, which is very interesting considering what's going on today, is immigration paralegal positions. We haven't seen it. In fact, what I'm seeing are more immigration paralegals looking for jobs. So truthfully, I'm not quite sure what's going on. But we're not seeing the increase in the immigration paralegal positions that we thought was going to happen. Your highest paid salaries, a director of compliance, records manager, great job for paralegal, legal administrator, a nice move up in the law firm, legal ops, the attorney, 3 to 9 years of experience, contract manager, but it's got to be 10 years at plus, senior legal assistant, marketing director in a major firm. I've seen marketing directors go anywhere from 140 up to 300, 400,000, depending on where they are in the C-suite. Practice manager and e-discovery manager are some of the highest paid salaries. Now, reasons you might want to leave your job: the high workload and stress, heavy caseload, unrealistic deadlines, all right, tight deadlines, lack of career growth. That's really prevalent in the paralegal field, limited advancement opportunities, and no clear defined career path. Low compensation for some, okay, pay discrepancies. There are better opportunities elsewhere. Poor work lifestyle balance. Now, I don't have too many firms that say they have great work lifestyle balance. Instead, what they're saying is they're family friendly. Okay. But there is excessive overtime. All right. And again, you're not going to make partner. Okay. Inflexible hours. There's lack of remote options or flexible schedules. Toxic work environments. I cannot tell you how many people, lawyers, marketing, paralegals, administrators who sit in front of me telling me about a toxic work environment. If you're in one, get out. That's what, there is a job for you. Lack of training. Okay. A lot of times there's a lack of training. Technological changes, geographic relocation, mismatch in expectations. The role is ambiguous. It's not what they promised you, or you've been there 5 years and you still don't know what's expected of you. And then sometimes you just realize that the legal field is not for you. And then sometimes you just want to pursue an alternative career. I just gave you a list of a whole bunch of alternative careers that you might want to aim for. You don't have to leave to do it. You can find it right there in your firm, or you can do what I did, which was I created the paralegal administrator position in my law firm and then was recruited to go to an AM law firm after a lot of publicity got out on what I did. Remember, paralegals are above average in intelligence. So if you're getting routine and repetitious work, that leads to burnout and turnover. Routine and repetitious work is a career buster for you. It really is, because what happens is your mind goes on automatic. You're not really growing. Routine and repetitious work. It could be a different case, but the same types of assignments. That's routine and repetitious work. So what I'm advocating is keep learning in order to move up. Stop waiting for your firm to offer it to you. Go after it yourself. And don't just go after the mandatory CLE, right? Take courses that are going to help you move up the ladder. So you're going to want to look for advanced responsibilities. So these are just a few: litigation, supervising case management, high stakes legal research, handling e-discovery, attending trial. That seems to have started to heat up now, and we can't find good litigation paralegals who have ever been to trial. In the corporate, blue sky, securities, finance. I got a position in for a firm the other day on fund formation. I didn't even know what it was. Okay, I had to look it up. Fund formation. And another position is the pricing analyst. Okay, that's hot right now, and a very, very good advancement for paralegals. Now, some of you are going to try and get higher level assignments. So you go to the firm and they say, "Oh, John, you're doing great, and as a reward, we're going to increase your workload." But it backfires. And why does it backfire? Because instead of summarizing one depo a week, John now summarizes 12. This is called a victim of empty loading. And empty loading means more work, but it's the same stuff. So if that's what's happening to you while you're trying to move up the ladder, be careful, right? That is criteria for burnout and turnover. Empty loading, it goes on all the time, all the time. Now let's talk a little bit about AI. There's been a lot of um, oh, I don't know, fiction about how AI is going to replace the paralegal position. In fact, a year ago, when it first really came out, it said that something like 42% of the legal field is going to be wiped out. That's really not true. AI is there to augment your work of paralegals. So, for the most time-consuming tasks, such as research, document review, data entry, it can get to high-value tasks faster. What does that do? That frees you up for more sophisticated assignments, right? What you're doing is you're dropping the routine and repetitious work to not a lower level, but a more efficient level so that you can focus on other things, legal analysis, client communication, critical thinking. AI is for volume. Fiction, job losses are guaranteed. Not true. What's going to happen is what we call job shifting, right? And job shifting means that it will be a different the job will look differently, right? Experts do not predict that AI is going to cause massive layoffs of 300,000 paralegals in the US alone. Not going to happen. All right. It's going to look different. And that's why I need you to get on the bandwagon, right? And get yourself educated in everything that you could possibly do with AI, because you become the focal point, not AI. You are going to run AI. AI is not going to run you. So, what is the effect of AI on paralegals? Well, way back when, even before me, okay, when Lexis and Westlaw came in, paralegals no longer did manual research. And what did they say then? They said, oh, Lexis and Westlaw are going to wipe out legal research, right? And paralegals are no longer going to be needed. But that didn't cut paralegals out. Instead, it allowed you to move on to higher level assignments. It took less time to do the legal research. So paralegals became free to focus on analysis, case management, and were not obsolete. We're not obsolete. Remember, the field grew 18% in all those years. So what happens and what will happen with AI is that you're going to be empowered to do more. Your job will look different. It's not that it's going to be wiped out. So it's changing how we work. It's not replacing. So that's something that you need to not fear. Okay? Don't fear it, embrace it. So what is the effect of AI on paralegals? So you play a role in client communication, client contact, handling sensitive information, but AI organizes intake forms, but it can't hold a hand of a widow or a widower. It can't console a divorce applicant. It can't do a lot of things. It can't reach the attorney when the client is panicked. Okay. It can't select a jury. All right. Maybe you run it through with the criteria, but it can't see the juror who's glaring at you, right? Or has facial expressions that you don't think are going to work for you. What you need to do is lean in, not lean out. Evaluate the new technology, and that's in everything, not only AI. So what you want to do is embrace it, all right? Rather than viewing it as a threat, with what many of you do, it's a valuable assistant. So the more educated you become in AI, the better to take advantage of its benefits. AI will get smarter. Now, what's happening? Yes, it's hallucinating. Yes, it's giving citing cases that don't exist. And I blame the paralegal and the attorney for that. Why weren't you cite checking? Why weren't you cite checking? Okay, why did you just believe what AI was telling you? The lawyers that you work with are going to benefit, and so are you. It's not your enemy, it's your friend, and it's the future. Now, to maximize the evolving role, what you want to do is develop skills. Document review, drafting AI platforms. There's a platform called Spellbook that allows paralegals to review contracts, assess risk, prepare case summaries, and refine documents in minutes. That's what you want. Why? So that you can move on to higher level assignments. And while ChatGPT is not going to replace paralegals, it can assist with drafting emails, letters, and basic documents. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'll tell you a secret, and if it gets out on the street, I'm going to know where it came from. But I use it to write my ads. Okay, it writes it so much better than I ever will. But I have to take the fluff out of it. I have to take the overstatement out of it. I have to take the trite clauses, the trite phrases out of it. So even though it comes up with things for you, you have to put your own spin on it. You have to give it your own voice, particularly in your emails. Everybody can tell when it's AI generated. And it's going to get to a point where they're not really going to believe you because it's AI generated. So be sure to put your own voice in your emails, in your documents, because people are going to become suspect. All right. That's what's going to happen. Whoops. So don't focus on the limitations. Use it strategically. There's witness communication, there's negotiations. AI is not going to be able to negotiate for you. Trial prep skills. What you want to do is learn emotional intelligence, nonverbal communication. AI can't do that. How to persuade, and adaptability to help the lawyers. Now, how do we ask the firm for new assignments when nobody has the time to train you? And this is where we're going to talk about actually techniques to move up the ladder. I'm doing a lot of research and I'm seeing all this okay, BS, right? About, well, how to move ahead in your career. Well, learn technology. How do I learn technology? Get more complex assignments. How do I get more complex assignments? Okay, so a lot of what you're trying to do or what you're reading doesn't explain the how to. So I'm going to go into a little bit now of how to get those higher level assignments and what techniques that you should use. What the first thing that you want to do is plan to upgrade your skills. People just think that it's going to happen automatically. It's not going to happen automatically, okay? You have to have a plan. What you want to do is have a plan on how to implement new information, new skills, and establish an action plan to upgrade your skills. It's not going to happen by osmosis. That's not going to happen unless you make it happen. Take small steps, all right? You don't have to become a senior level paralegal overnight if you're just entering, right? But you have to have a plan. I'm going to do this by this, and this is how I'm going to accomplish it. Now, one of the most effective ways that I have found to get attorneys to listen to you, all right, to give you those upgraded assignments is to use the I plus U plus equals we. Now, in a number of firms, there's no real work pipeline. There's no real way of getting the work. You just kind of fall into it. And then when you don't have the work, the firms say, well, go knock on doors. Well, I can't think of a poorer way of getting work than to go knock on doors. What that says to me is that there's no defined pipeline for the paralegals to get work. And that's a whole other webinar about how to do that. But here is a very, very effective way of getting what you want and moving up the ladder. So this is the I plus you equals we. What I need from you, what I need, what I Mr. Paralegal needs. Okay, this is what I need. This is what I need from you. I'm going to lay it out. Okay, I'm not just going to hint all right, and hope, all right, and hope and pray, or post and pray, as they say. I'm going to be very specific what I need from you. And together, that's how this works, okay? You bring it all together. We will together. So, and then what you're going to do is you're going to close with the benefits. Always close with the benefits, not for you, but for the firm, right? Not for you. Let me reemphasize that, but for the firm. So here is the risk and reward email to attorney. Now, here's what we're doing. We're negotiating for training. Hi, Kim. Okay, and this is the I part. All right. See my little purple block there. Okay, this is the I. I wanted to reach out regarding an opportunity to utilize some of the paralegal skills I gained during my training, which I haven't had the chance to apply yet at Wiggle and Giggle. Specifically, I noticed that the first set of interrogatories in Wines versus Coffee matter is due next week, March 3rd. I would love the opportunity to take on this assignment. While I may need a bit of guidance initially, I believe I can complete this efficiently and deliver quality work. Now, what are we going to do? We're going into what I need from you. Here is my proposal, all right? I found that 2 to 3 hours is about the average length of time an associate typically takes to prepare interrogs. And then you state what you do. I will prepare the interrogatories in 6 hours. Once drafted, I will submit them to you for review and feedback, which I estimate will take about 15 minutes of your time, right? This is what I need from you. After incorporating your corrections, I'll bill the client for 3 hours at the paralegal rate. The additional 3 hours would be attributed to my own time, right? To my own time. So this is the negotiation part, right? And this is what I need from you. Very critical that you lay this out in order to either get training, or you can use it to upgrade your assignments. Those of you who go to the attorneys and say, "Can I help you draft the interrogatories?" Um, or you're asking a closed-end question. That's a yes or no. Most likely, it'll be no. Why? Because the attorney or the supervisor simply probably does not have the time to train you. They don't have it. And in most firms, there's no real trainer except for maybe on technology, all right, to train you in doing these things. So this is what I need and want from you. The benefits are threefold. Now, here is the together we, all right? I gain hands-on training and experience in this type of assignment. You gain a paralegal capable of handling this task in the future, freeing up associates for higher level work. You are freed up to take on less low-level work. This is extremely important because what we're talking about is delegating to the lowest competent level. Um, the client benefits, okay, from reduced fees as the work is billed at a paralegal rate instead of an associate rate. So what is that? That is together. This is what's going to happen. Together, we're going to satisfy the client. Together, you're going to get a more capable paralegal, and together, you get to do more sophisticated work. Together, we're going to make this happen. Would you be available to discuss this tomorrow at 1 p.m., or would 3 p.m. work better for you? This is a classic sales close, okay? Will you take it in red or will you take it in blue? They can't say, if you say, will this work for you? Again, you're asking a yes or no question. So remember that attorneys in particular are taught to negotiate, right? So if you ask them a closed-end question, meaning a yes or no, they're probably going to give you a no because it takes too much time, it's too much trouble, I don't want to do it. But if you give them a choice, they'll go up one side and down the other on which one to choose. And that's what you're trying to do. So this is a classic sales close. Will you take it in red or will you take it in blue? Will you, should I wrap it up or will you wear it out? Okay. Thank you for considering this proposal. I'm eager to contribute further and support the team more effectively. Now, what do I mean by delegate to the lowest competent level? What I mean is that associates are doing paralegal work, paralegals are doing legal assistant work, okay? And it should be that you should be moving yourself up the ladder by delegating to those who can handle the assignment, right? And free you up to do more sophisticated and complicated assignments. So you're delegating to the lowest competent level. I don't, people get confused by that because they think uh, that you're delegating, I don't know, to somebody that's not competent. But what this does is it frees everyone to take on a higher level assignment. And if you want to move up, you have to be the driving force. The firm is probably not going to do it for you. Most of all, because they don't know how. They just don't know how to do it. And in every firm, paralegals are viewed differently. Every firm has a different view as to how a paralegal should be utilized. Now, here's another technique, and this is called the getting new assignments. This is a an assignment form. Now, before you say, okay, well, not in my firm, this will never work in my firm. When I first initiated this in a paralegal program, some years ago, I won't say how many years, but some years ago, at first it was ignored. Okay, but I kept at it. I just kept at it. And then what happened was I was in an executive committee meeting. Of course, you know, the associates and the partners got to sit at the conference table and the rest of us had to sit around the wall, but okay. But I stopped, we were getting so much work using this that I stopped using them. Okay, because we were getting more work than we could handle. And at that executive committee meeting, somebody said, hey, what happened to those forms that Estrin was sending out? All right. So it takes at least 7 times, these are the stats, to hit somebody with something new before they'll respond. They don't always respond right away, and particularly lawyers. Lawyers are they're so slow to change, right? So slow. So this is the assignment form. Now, you could ask the attorney to check off the boxes, or you can do it, okay? But if it's written, it must be so. That's what attorneys sue on, right? Okay, that's their whole premise, all right? If it's written, it must be so, and then they argue it is or it isn't. All right, so this is a proven form designed to get you new assignments that you've never done, all right? A lot of paralegals, what they do is they say, well, I'm going to send them a job description of everything that I can do and hope that they're going to give me something. What happens to that memo? It's deleted. It's just deleted. But if you do it this way, you're likely to get a response. So I just took litigation paralegal. You could do this for corporate, for trust and estates, for, gosh, ERISA, for anything, okay, any specialty, family law, anything that you're in. And what you do is first you say, according to the master calendar, there's a trial coming up in Jones versus Big Company on May 23rd. In order to prepare for trial, please check the assignments where you will need assistance. Now, it could be in order to prepare for the document production, in order to prepare for whatever, okay, the merger and acquisition. But I just picked, okay, in order to prepare for trial. So then what we do is we list every possible thing that you can possibly do, all right, to prepare for trial. And what you're going to do is list assignments that you've never had before, because if it's written, it must be so, right? That's the thinking. So always go with the mindset. I always go with the mindset. So now I've listed, all right, and let's say I've never hired temps or I've never actually attended depositions. What it does is it trains the attorney in a non-confrontational manner as to what it is that you can do. If you just hand them a job description and this is what I've trained in, oh, okay, yeah, fine, thank you, next, all right. But what this does is they say, oh, yeah, I've never had Jane hire temps before, or gosh, attend trial, never thought about that. So now what they do is they're going to check off, okay, the areas in which they could use you, manage trial logistics, handle witness prep, design databases. And so what it does also is it's designed to get the attorney to think ahead. All right. And not just lay things on you at 5 o'clock in the afternoon saying, hey, Jane, can you please do some legal research? No rush, take all night if necessary. Okay. So it gets the attorney to think ahead in terms of how they're going to utilize you. And then they may be checking off areas that you've never done before, right? Because if it's written, it must be so. If it's written, you must be able to do it. Okay. So here's other types of things. There are a whole host of things according to your specialty or your firm that you could be listing. And be sure to list the things that you've never done. That's critical. Now, I had a portion of it in there, that a line in there that says, see me. This is the most important box that they can check. Why? Because you're going to have a one-on-one discussion with them. And when you have a one-on-one discussion with them, you can ask questions. You can engage them. You can get more information, a whole host of things. So the see me part of it, even with Zoom or a telephone call or whatever, is probably one of the most important things that an attorney can check for you. All right, because now you get the one-on-one. But do you see where I'm going with this? All right, this it teaches them what it is that you can do. It allows them to give you assignments that you haven't done before, and it allows you to get a higher level of assignment. It's very simple. All right, it's educating in a non-confrontational way and moving you up the ladder. Now, here's a great way to use the assignment form at review time. Save them, because most of the time, most memories of your work can generally only go back 3 months, maybe. And it depends on how busy the attorney is, how busy you are. You might not even remember what you did 6 months ago. So now you have a tracking system. So at review time, pull out your assignment forms. All right. Some of you do self-reviews. Great. Here's you don't have to remember, did I do the trial prep for the Acme versus Acme? Gee, I can't remember. And it also reminds supervisors of what you have accomplished. So these are a great way to track your progress at review time. You can demonstrate how you've moved up the ladder. You have it in writing. Okay, you have it in writing. So I can't think of a better way to prepare for your review than these assignment forms. Now, some of you are saying, Sherry, not in my firm. This isn't going to work. And all I can do is tell you, you don't know until you try. All right. You don't know until you try. And remember, the stats are it takes at least 7 times before anybody will even pay attention to it. Those are the stats. So don't give up. Now, a lot of you never give a status report. In fact, most of you never give a status report. I suggest that once a week, pick a day, maybe Friday, maybe Monday, whatever, to deliver a status report to the attorneys or senior people that you're working with, right? It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It's very, very, very short. Why? Because nobody reads anymore. Nobody reads. Everybody skims, right? And it's all Instagram, bullet points, X that used to be Twitter. It's all right. It's all fast, okay, and skimming. So what you need to do is to take this status report to make sure that you're on track, okay, with what it is that needs to be done. So this is, I can't think of a better, well, the assignment form, but here is another excellent way to ask for an upgrade in your assignments and keep the workflow going. Because a lot of you fall short of billable hours. You go knocking on the doors again, and it's not your fault. It's the fault of the firm because they don't have a pipeline established. So who is it up to, right? To establish that pipeline? You. It's up to you. All right. It also helps you reach your billable hours or exceed them. And also you're going to learn something new. Now, let's talk about it. In versus Minnie, okay, what was the assignment? The assignment was to complete document production number 3. So where are you on that? I completed document production number 3. When did I finish it? I finished it on June 25th. Now, here's the most important thing on this status report. You're asking for the next assignment, and maybe it's an upgrade, right? So here you're asking, will you need me at number 4? Okay, and then again, this is a yes or no, but you can also word it, I can assist you at document production number 4. Okay, so what are you doing? You're keeping the pipeline going. Maybe you're upgrading your assignment. All right. Here, Donald Duck versus Goofy, I summarized 5 depots to be completed by 6/14. Okay. And a further assignment. Do you need all 20 summarized? So what are you doing? I only got an assignment to summarize the first 5, but there are 20 depots. Would you like me to take care of that? All right. So what are you doing? You're keeping the pipeline and the workflow going. Um, Here, Lion versus Tiger, pre-trial prep completed, but I need more time. I need 3 more days. This could be a yes or no from the attorney. They could say, oh gosh, you're taking too much time. But further assignment, you've never attended trial before. Do you need me to attend trial? So what does this do? It puts the suggestion in the attorney's head that you're capable of doing that, right? It's power by suggestion, okay? Um, Lion versus Tiger, prepared inventory of the assets. When I've been completed, where do we go from here? And they may answer you, oh, well, I want you to yada, yada, yada. Okay. Alka-Seltzer formed a subsidiary. I completed that. Do you need UCCs filed? What does that say? It also helps the attorney to think ahead. All right. And maybe there's something there that you've never done before. Another one that I love is when you're summarizing depositions, it's not that you need all 20 summarized, but take it one step further. Do you need me to prepare a summary of testimony inconsistencies? Okay, maybe that's something you've never done before. Maybe it's something the attorney never thought of. All right. But what have you done? You've upgraded. You've gotten yourself new assignments. All right. You've created good work, not billable work that's fluff. Okay. So this status report can't get any more important, and you will see results from it. I will bet you 25 cents. I never go further than 25 cents, okay? But I will bet you 25 cents you're going to see some good results from this very short, very brief, able to skim status report that needs to go out once a week. Right? It needs to go out once a week because you need to keep refreshing the attorney's memory. You need to do that because they get lost in the shuffle, and so do you. Now, asking for more training. This is critical because a lot of people sit and wait for the firm to say, okay, you can have more training, or you're asking for the mandatory CLE that California requires and nothing more than that. Well, that's not enough. All right, to keep you upgrading your assignments. So here is how we do it to the managing partner, yada, yada, yada. And we're going to use the I plus you equals we. What you need. This is the I part. As a trust and estate planning paralegal, I am always seeking to expand my knowledge to create more value to the firm. I came across a course to be given March 3rd at PLI's Annual Estate Planning Institute with Sanford Schlesinger, who is considered essential legal training by those engaged in sophisticated estate and tax planning practice. Here is why it is important that I attend. Okay, this is the I. What attendees will learn: plan ahead for the sunset of certain provisions, update your approach, elevate your practice, preview the 2025 Green Book, okay? And so you're listing exactly what you're going to come out of this training with. The course is taught by partners from McDermott, Will, and Emory. So here is the you part. All right, this is the you. How this course benefits the firm. This is you. Enhanced expertise, increased efficiency, generative AI integration, proactive compliance, risk mitigation, client service improvement, cost savings. All right, and this is very important, cost savings, because they're all looking at the bottom line. My enhanced capabilities could reduce the need for outside resources or consultants, bringing more tasks in-house. All right, so this is you. Okay, this is you. And this is what I need from you. The course cost is $795. Recordings are available for reference after the session. This is what I need from you. Together, right? Bring it together, okay? Be the team. This is what is really called teamwork, okay? I strongly believe this opportunity aligns with the firm's goals of delivering exceptional client service, maintaining regulatory compliance, and staying at the forefront of industry developments. I would appreciate your support in enrolling in this course. Please let me know if you need any further information or have any questions. Thanks. Okay, so what is that? It brings it all together. Same formula, I plus you equals we, okay? But you've laid it out. Here is what I need. Here is what I need from you. And together, this is how the firm benefits, okay? It's a benefit for all of us. I guarantee you this works. I've used it, I don't know how many times, okay? This format is a beauty. It really works, because what in the end, what you're doing is bringing it together. It's not just all about me, and what I get. All right. It's how the firm benefits. And if you take any sales courses, okay, they'll teach you sell the benefits, how we all benefit. Now, I want to mention this. I mentioned it in my last webinar, certification. There are advantages, okay, increased employment opportunities, although I have never had a firm say, I want a certified paralegal. They use the word certified by mistake. The disadvantages can be costly and no guarantee of payoff. It's significant time commitment, and education may be more limited than a degree. Acknowledge the legal mindset, though. The more education, the more credibility you have. And I have a podcast that I would love for you to listen to about how to revamp the entire paralegal field, right? Now, never confuse certified with certificated. It's a huge mistake. The difference, folks, is that certified means you took the NALA exam, which is a 2.5-day exam by a third party. And if you pass it, then you can put CP after your name. It's the same as CPA, Certified Public Accountant. They have to take a certification exam and pass it, and then they become certified. Certificated means you completed a paralegal program and were awarded a certificate of completion. So stop saying I'm a certified paralegal when you did not take the NALA course. What does that mean? That means that if you're saying that, you don't know your field. All right. And do not confuse ABA approved with ABA accredited. Some people saying I'm an ABA accredited certified paralegal. No, you're not. The ABA does not accredit anything, anything. So you must say I attended an ABA approved school. Okay. Very important because your resume will get bounced. It's that simple. It's that simple. So you will automatically signal you don't know much about your own job. So don't make that mistake. Don't make it. Okay. People are becoming wise. Everybody says find a mentor. I say don't find a mentor, find a board of advisors instead who's going to provide guidance, support, and valuable insights. I do that. I don't have a mentor. I mentor a lot of people, but I chose a board of advisors instead. So learning something may be easy, but the implementation is the hard part, and no one person has all the answers. So get yourself somebody that handles this particular part of your job, that particular part of your job. Get a board of advisors, much better than finding a mentor. And what I find about mentors is they really don't have the time to mentor you. That's the honest truth. Reach out. No one's going to reach in. All right. Find sub areas that you're interested in within your practice group. Reach out to the senior attorneys who specialize in that to get involved in relevant projects. So go for the sub areas. All right. Maybe you're a trust and estates paralegal and you want to know probate. Maybe you don't know probate. Reach out. Okay. Nobody's going to reach in. That's not how it happens in a law firm. Proven techniques to get ahead. Schedule a monthly one-on-one with power players, even if they're not your boss. Why this works, okay? Visibility and internal advocacy are everything. Promotions don't just go to the most competent. They go to the most known. That's where the promotions go, right? How to do it. Identify 3 to 5 influential people inside your firm. Reach out with a short email. Hello, I really admire your work on X. Would you be open to a 15-minute Zoom or coffee? I'd love to hear your perspective on blank, okay? Prepare one thoughtful question and one brief update on your recent work. Follow up quarterly with a quick update or helpful article. What does this do? It keeps you top of mind. You're not buried in the system. Right? It keeps you top of mind. And if you want to get promoted, you have to be visual. All right. You have to be visual. Keep a private job leads tracker. Okay. All right, so I'm a recruiter, right? Even when you're not looking. Why? Because you never know when your dream job is going to come. You never know. So build a spreadsheet. It doesn't mean you have to leave. All right. It doesn't mean, but you don't know if your firm's going to merge. You don't know if it's going to shut down. You don't know if it's going to lose a great client. There's a lot you don't know because you don't sit in the executive committee. So spend about 30 minutes a month, add to your list. Okay. Make the list, say why this might be a firm you might want to go to, and just keep leads. That's all. Just keep leads. Pre-write your performance review every 30 days. Why this works? If you wait to the end of the year, you've lost control of the narrative. And also you're going to use the assignment forms. Create a Google Doc. Okay. Every Friday, write down what you accomplished. If you're not using those assignment forms, add the metrics. I increased revenue. I saved time. I improved this. We had a win, and who benefited. And at review time, copy or paste the best of it into your self-evaluation or proposal for promotion. This makes negotiating raises 10 times easier because you have receipts. Right? You can prove it. And remember, you're in a law firm. You have to prove everything. Be present at the office more often than not. Okay. A lot of people don't agree with that because they want the remote situation. But the more you're seeing, the more you're thought of. Get out there, write a blog, LinkedIn articles for publications, newsletters, be a guest on a podcast. In other words, get noticed as an expert in your field. That's how you get ahead. accelerate your career growth with goals. Okay, have a goal. These are called the SMART goals, whatever. Set goals. All right. I'm going to get 2 legal certifications. I'm going to get certified in relativity. I'm going to take the NALA exam, whatever, and how long it takes, and plot it out. All right. Plan your career growth. Nobody's going to do it for you, and it's not going to happen by accident. It just isn't. Where do I leverage my skills? Find a gap in the firm. Just find a gap and leverage your skills. If you get new skills, here's a great email. This is the what I need from you. As we all grow and develop new skills, it's always rewarding to put them to use. Recently, I completed training on drafting. I would love to assist you with any upcoming assignments. Thank you for considering me. Okay, so what it is, it's the what I need from you, and together we can. This is leveraging your new skills. Demonstrate your skills in action, write a case study, okay? Show them what it is that you learned. Leverage your skills, give a lunch. There's a whole host of things, host a webinar, be a guest. Some of these we already went over. Ask how much time you expect assignments to take so that you can be sensitive to the client's budget. Many of us don't do that. Over time, you'll get better intuition of how long things should take, but it definitely doesn't hurt to ask. Keep in mind that the supervising attorney time estimates may be off. They don't always know. For example, you may have a stack of documents, if we have documents anymore, that are this long, and you know it's going to take 3 weeks to go through it, but the attorney says 3 hours. Okay, they don't really know. Don't lose your momentum. Supplement your career with continuous training. Don't lose your momentum. Get out there and make some mistakes. Learning stems from actual experience. It's okay to make mistakes. Here are a few jobs that we have. As you can see, all kinds of things for paralegals. It's not necessarily, these are old. It's not that I'm advertising these jobs, but in other words, these are the kinds of things that are going on today. Final tips: practice makes perfect. Let the powers that be know what you can do. Be the initiator to get higher level assignments. Timing and transition, aim for seamless professional delivery, and keep CLE going beyond the California requirements. Get feedback, get more education, reflect on your performance, explore new techniques, set personal goals, and above all, have fun, right? If you don't love it, don't do it. That's my attitude. I have a podcast. I'd love for you to listen to this. I did it with Huascar Matos, who's the president of IPMA, and it's called the Underdog Uprising Paralegals, and it's a whole new way of looking at the paralegal field. I have a new book coming out. I hope that you'll take a look at it. It's Power Plays for Legal Professionals: Strategies to Move Your Career Forward. And I hope that you'll like it. Whoops. And that's it. Thank you very much. We're right on time. If you need me, here I am. If you have questions, just email me. I'll get right back to you. Okay, that's it. Thank you very
So
much.
So thank you, Sherry. There was a couple of questions. If you have time to take them live, it was a couple of questions in the chat that we can answer. And anyone that needs to leave, if I know it's lunch hour, you can leave, but if you can stick around with us because we know we're a couple of minutes behind time. But one of the questions, it says, will there ever be a paralegal title position that focuses specifically on mediation? And she says
Yeah.
she loves it, and this person said they love mediation in the field, but they don't know if that's something that maybe you may have seen. And guys, just so you know, Sherry, she's a legal recruiter, but she's not specifically California. She's
No,
all
I'm
major
national.
cities around the country. Yeah.
I'm even international, actually.
Yep.
Um, uh, Look, make it up. Okay, if it's written, it must be so, right? So just make it up. That's all. Somebody will buy off on it. All right. That's the beauty of this field. Okay. It's not that you're throwing spaghetti against the wall hoping it'll stick. Make it up. All right. If that's what you are, make up the title. It's okay. It really is okay. I've never seen that title, but that doesn't mean anything. Just doesn't mean anything. Okay.
One last one is about the CP course, which you kind of went over, but I want to ask you specifically, Sherry, what do you think if someone, especially if they've taken it a couple of times and may not have passed it, but do you think that's something they should continue to pursue with respect
Yes.
to the CP exam? Do you think it really helps them in their career field with
No.
respect to like increased pay and all?
No, 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 that's a myth. I wish it did. I'm all for it. Okay, don't get me wrong. But right now, it does not increase your pay. Okay, it was originally designed for those paralegals who were not near paralegal schools in rural areas. Originally, years ago, that's what it was designed for. But I've never ever had a firm say, give me somebody who took the NALA exam. No one, not ever in 30 years. Okay. It is not recognized as a professional designation. It just isn't. That doesn't mean things aren't going to change. All right. But will it get you a better job? Probably not. Okay. It's your experience and where you went to school. That's what's going to get you a better job. It's unfortunate, but what we need to do as a paralegal group is keep educating the community. That's what we need to do. But don't, it's not, I'm not saying you shouldn't take it. I'm just saying it will not get you more money. No, will not.
Awesome. All right. Any other last minute live questions before we let Sherry go and everyone get back to their job? Anyone? Everyone good? Everybody good? Awesome. Well, let's thank Sherry and again, Sherry, they're leaving you lots of love in
Thank you.
the chat section. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate you as always. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.